Spartans! What is your profession?
Every step I took alone, built a kingdom all my own. No more shadows pulling strings. I am light, I am wings.
I walked away, no chains to bind. I left the past, I cleared my mind. The road was rough, the skies were gray, but I broke free, I found my way.
I walked away, I broke the chain, left behind their endless reign. Tried my best to make it fit, but their world wasn't it. Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust.
Freedom's here and I can trust. I tried my best, I gave my all, but their world was too small. They couldn't see beyond their walls, so I chose to rise, not let myself fall.
Saw their ways a hollow sound. No real love was ever found. Left them there where they belong. Now my heart beats twice as strong.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust.
Freedom's here and I can trust. Their whispers fade like distant songs. I found my voice where I belong. No anchors now, no shadows stay. I face the sun, a brighter day.
They wanted walls, I wanted skies. I couldn't live their tangled lies. Now I'm soaring, winds at play, dancing light in every way.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from their weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe. I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from their weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How is everyone doing tonight? I am doing absolutely phenomenal, spectacular, all of those amazing, amazing adjectives. How are you? Please let me know. How are you doing? Where are you tuning in from? Hopefully you are going to have a great, great time with me tonight because I am going to ask Lovable, the AI coding platform, to do what I personally believe no other vibe coder has ever asked it to do before, and I am going to do it with you. So tonight, we're going to be dedicating it to an aspect of software engineering, of vibe coding, that is probably the most important part of it, but not many people do it, know about it, or even worse, care for it. And this is right up my wheelhouse, what I've been doing for my entire life, actually, right? And so you're going to see how I do it. So that it is what it is. But before we do that, we are going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. So welcome to the show. Tonight is Thursday, July 31st. Yep. July 31st, 2025. Can you believe that we are already at the end of July? We have just ended the 7th month of the year. We're heading into August. We are heading into August. That means there's only 4 months left. There are only 4 months left in the year. And for some people, it's a celebration. They are well on their path to accomplishing their goals that they set for the year, for whatever goals they have, right? But for some other people, it is more of a
Bruh. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Nothing has been accomplished. They were going so hard, so strong in the first couple of weeks, first month maybe if they're lucky. But then, nope, fell off. They fell off. You fell off. You fell off.
They ain't believe in us.
Nope, they didn't believe in you because you did not believe in yourself. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So for those who are going strong, I am right here with you, and we are going to run it up together. So let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping really quick. So first and foremost, a big thank you to all of the subscribers. Those who have been with me for a very, very long time, those who are brand new, thank you so much. I appreciate every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
And those who are watching on X and on Twitch and wherever you are watching from, whether you're watching it live, whether you're watching it on playback, thank you so much. You guys, I mean, to be honest, I come back because I am learning a lot, but I come back to also share it with you. Now, I want to give a big shout out to my Patreon members. Shout out to the Tech Barbarians. Yes, shout out to the Tech Barbarians. Working so hard day in and day out. Shout out to my Tech Project members. I work with them one-on-one as well. Shout out to the Technical Explorers. We work so hard in the Patreon. I am doing my best to have a meetup every other weekend where I am showing you the different things that I'm learning, using up my tokens, answering your questions, giving you some insights, building prototypes with you. Yes, that's what I do over there. So if you are interested in seeing all the projects that I'm working on, getting some insight, asking me questions, seeing how I troubleshoot, how my mind works in depth, that is in the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon. Hoping to see you there. TechCoachRalph.dev. Because we are the very, very best.
We the best.
And I want to give another big shout out and thank you and salute to the YouTube channel members who allow me to come on YouTube day in and day out and be able to stream this to Twitch, to X, keeping me going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
All right, really quick announcements before we get into our first, because we still have our 5 credits to burn. So really quick announcement, right? Tomorrow at noon, we're going to be premiering our episode of The Bug Bite. I don't even remember what we're talking about on The Bug Bite, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good. So definitely want to tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern time, The Bug Bite on YouTube. Check it out. And we will go from there. And then Saturday, nothing planned for Saturday. Sunday, we're going to be going live as we normally do. Our DevOps type stuff. We are very, very dynamic. Everything is AI focused, but we are also career-based, career-focused, DevOps, cybersecurity, all of that good stuff, web development, you name it, we do it. You name it, we do it over here. But because it is 7:37 Eastern time and the re-up man on Lovable comes in here at 8 p.m., we are going to dedicate our first 20 minutes to using up our 5 daily tokens because we do not fumble. We do not fumble any tokens because I personally am a token fiend. However, I am a functional token fiend indeed. It is what it is. I gotta get my token hit on the daily. I do not miss. I was up late last night working on some stuff. I'm trying to go to sleep earlier, but the code keeps calling me. I'm like, my mind is telling me no, but the code keeps telling me yes. Hello, my name is Teco Trout, and I am a token fiend. All right. So, with that being said, without further ado, we are going to jump into and the best way to start off to use these tokens is you're going to see what no vibe coder has ever asked Lovable to do before, at least in my humble opinion. But if there is someone who has asked, let me know. Let me know if you know somebody who has asked Lovable to do this before. But I am going to ask Lovable to do the unthinkable because I don't think any vibe coder has asked this. And after as we're going through this, after we get done with this, I will share with you why I don't think any vibe coder has ever asked Lovable to do this. Let me say what's up to my guy really quick. We got Junior in the building. What's up, Junior? What's happening? What's good? How are you doing on this beautiful Thursday evening? All right, enough. I love Junior, but enough chit-chatting with Junior. We got to get to work. We got 20 minutes before the re-up man hits us up, so let's get to it. All right, so we are going to go over to here. And if you have been following this channel on any platform for any amount of time, you guys should well know about the homeschool app, right? It was during the Weekend of Love by Lovable, sponsored by Anthropic, Google, and ChatGPT, OpenAI. They were having their wars. Their battle was our benefit. So I started building this out. They had unlimited credits. Started building this out. This is when I really became a token fiend. And now it's just taking a mind of its own, and we are getting closer and closer to completion. So basically what this is, it is a app to help homeschool mothers or fathers to manage to stay organized, create groups, find out events, all that type of stuff, right? So and it won't be free either. It will not be free. But we have so when you go to here, it's going to give you a pricing plan, right? And it's a monthly subscription, all that good stuff. But here's the thing. How do you know it works? Because I can go through this sign up. It's the Stripe is in test mode and everything like that. I can go through the sign up, but how do you know it works? So what is the one thing that I do not think that vibe coders, because even software engineers struggle with this, right? What is the one thing that I don't believe that vibe coders have figured out? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? It is how to properly test their products. Because what if you go ahead and you launch your application and you're supposed to have monthly billing, and then the month comes and Stripe doesn't bill your customers? Or what if your customers upgrade and downgrade, right? They upgrade and downgrade, and they start getting a bunch of different plans in their account. Like so now they have the starter plan, the basic plan, the family plan, and the large plan. So now they're paying you when they should just have the large plan if that's what they wanted, but now they end up having all of them. What if they downgrade? How do you know the downgrade works at the end of the month? How do you know? So I am going to prompt the unthinkable. Why? And now it's thinkable. But it wasn't thinkable before until I actually tried it out last night, and I was shocked, appalled, bamboozled, but also very, very excited. All right, so we are going to get started with our endeavors. Let's go over to Lovable. You guys all know Lovable right here. I was actually using my tokens for another project, but you're also going to see how this other project that I was working on ties in very, very neatly to what we're doing here, right? But because time is of the essence, here is my prompt. And in a Patreon meetup, I am going to go in depth into all the ins and outs of this prompt and a lot of other troubleshooting. It's going to be a very, very intense vibe code and chill session. So there might be no vibe. There might just be a lot of coding and chilling, but not much vibe in our next Patreon meetup. But it is what it is, because that's what we do here, right? We work hard. All right. So here is my prompt. Before I go to my prompt, right, let me go to, do I have another account I can sign into? Let's see. Let me try this account. Go into here, and I go here, profile. I'm on the family plan. And these plans are dictated, manual assignment, are dictated by the ages of the kids. So let me see if I'm going to... Let me see something. Let's see, go for this one. Is this a... All these are manual assignments. Because... Anyways, here's what we're going to do. Right? Just wanted to see what type of plans I have, what type of users I have. Let me check this one. Okay, so this is a good one. Right? And there's no children added yet on this one. And when I add children, if I add more than one child, right, it should, and my next billing period is here. So here's what I need to know. I need to know, will I be charged $5.99 after 8/15/2025? Right? If I click on manage subscription, what happens? Oh, you see, we have an error. We have an error here. How many people would easily catch that, right? But if I click on manage subscription, if I upgrade my plan, if I want to go, like if I have 2 kids I want to add and I have to go to the basic plan, how do I do that? Is that gonna work, right? Am I gonna have the starter plan and the basic plan? So here is what we are going to do. I am going to prompt the unthinkable. I am going to prompt the unthinkable one more time. I am going to prompt the unthinkable. Here we go. I need a comprehensive way to test the subscription plans that connect to Stripe. It is a possibility that a user would not be billed at the end of the monthly plan, or if they were to upgrade, they get both accounts, or if they wanted to cancel, they would be canceled at Stripe, but still have access to the application. I want a way to simulate what happens when the user is up for their monthly renewal. That's one. When they upgrade their account, When they upgrade their account, when they downgrade, which they would have to remove a kid to downgrade, God forbid. When they cancel their account, we should be able to see what their account status would be. Let me see. Can we add something in the admin to test out our subscription process? Let's start with that. Let's start with that, right? Boom. No vibe coder has ever asked that before. That's my thought. If you have, prove it to me. Prove it to me that you have, all right? Let's see. I'll create a comprehensive subscription testing system for the admin dashboard that allows you to simulate various subscription scenarios with Stripe. This will help you test billing cycles, upgrade, downgrades, and cancellations. There we go. I am curious to know how many people have actually done this before, because I was always under the impression, this was my honest impression of Lovable, but just based on how people talk about vibe coding and stuff, was that I didn't even start 20 minutes or whatever. At 8 o'clock, we'll know it's 20 minutes. But my impression was that it just does the design, the front end stuff like that, but it doesn't really think about testing. So if you want unit tests, if you want, because CI/CD pipeline is important. I think based on what we read about the definition of vibe coding the other day, I think that this should be treated just like any other software application. You have your sprints, you have your stories, you have all of that, and you go through the same flow, and you have ways to test it. You have your unit tests, you have your integration tests, all of that good stuff. Should have put it on a different branch, to be honest with you. I think I'll do that next. I should have did that. Okay, I will do that. So, create a comprehensive subscription testing for your admin dashboard with the following features: subscription testing tab in admin dashboard. Now, a new tab called subscription testing in the admin interface. Select test users from existing subscribers. Choose target tiers for upgrade, downgrade scenarios. Test scenarios available: renewal test, upgrade test, downgrade test, cancellation test. Edge function created test subscription scenarios. Main testing function that simulates different subscription scenarios, simulate subscription status. Helper function for more granular testing, expire subscriptions, change status, etc. Real-time test results with the JSON output. Interesting. Status badges, success, warning, error, Stripe response data and database state changes, timestamp tracking for all tests. Admin only access is app admin. Read only simulation that don't actually modify live data. Clear warnings about using Stripe test mode. Detailed logging for debugging. Testing guidelines. The interface includes helpful instructions for proper testing procedures and what each scenario tests. This gives you this will help you thoroughly test your subscription logic before going live. We'll just do it live, ensuring billing cycle works correctly, upgrades, downgrades are handled properly, and cancellations maintain appropriate access levels. How you like them apples. You're damn right, Junior. That's a whole lot of testing. Look, QA, quality assurance, quality control, all of that is very serious. Because guess what? What if you have 1,000 people, 1,000 stay-at-home moms sign up for the, let's say they have like 4 kids and they sign up for the $30 plan, 1,000 of them, right? And your billing doesn't work. How much money in the first month are you losing? Are you leaving on the table?
Bruh.
And you won't even know until you get, let's say you get the pay for that first month. What about the second month when No money comes in. You're like, I got 1,000 people, 1,000 active users. What's going on here? What is going on? So let's go ahead and check our, so we're going to be using this email address. So what happens when, let's log out of this one. Let's log into this one. We should go to admin and we should have, let me see, where would it be? They said they added it. Tier management? No. No. I don't see it. Maintenance? No. All right. It's not there. It's not there. Oh, there, wait. Oh, there you go. So, all right, I had to refresh. I got to think about the tabs. They're starting to get like a little bunched up together. But oh, look at that. We have an error. We have an error already. Let's see. So if I go to here, and now you can see live how I troubleshoot stuff. If I go here and I go to network, all right, so test users are not showing up in the dropdown. And because we can't choose the test user, we can't do any of this, right? So a couple of things I'm going to do. I'm also going to check what's going on with two things I want to do. I want to also check this error too, not this account. Let's go with this one, that one, profile. When I go to manage subscription, getting this error, and if I go over here, no configuration has been provided for your test mode, has not been created. Interesting. I do have to do this first, right? Okay. We're gonna do a couple of things. So we'll take care of the other one first, because that Stripe one might take some work to do. So let's go here and let's go here, and we are gonna go to admin, subscription testing. Oh, it's so weird. It popped up now. All right, but it only pops up as one. Is it because there's only one technically active user? Starter plan. All right, yeah, I guess there's only one technically active user. Let's see. This is a manual assignment, so it's probably only going to be looking for the active ones. Yep. Well, I guess we'll use that one to test. So now let's go to subscription testing. We're going to go to, let me close this down. Oh no, I didn't show it before. Let's choose this one. All right, target tier for upgrade or downgrade. So let's say we do this basic one and we do test the renewal. So renewal scenario success, they would say, currently subscription status is active, tier starter plan. It's going to end 8/15. Stripe response, current period ends 8/15. Status active. Database state null. Status success. Payment method status missing. Subscription will renew successfully. So it sounds like it should be okay. Maybe we don't need the payment method. So, and this is what we can ask as well, right? So now let's test the upgrade, right? Move to a higher tier. So we should be looking to go to this one. Upgrade test. It would, so if they were to upgrade right now, it would say subscription status active, tier starter plan. Oh my God, I'm not even gonna get to use all my credits. I just looked up and I saw the time. Craziness. So you know what? Let's do. I'm gonna do another thing. I'm gonna say let me use one more of these credits at least. I can't fumble all 4 credits. We started late today, right? Crazy day. We'll leave that at that. I started writing some unit tests, but ran into some issues. Some unit tests and integration tests. But I ran into some issues. Can you help? And this is another one that no vibe coder has ever written. Can you help me finish my unit test so I can integrate them into my CI/CD pipeline? Did I don't know if I ever actually pushed them up, actually, now that I think about it. Actually, I don't think I pushed them up. What branch am I on? Let me see. We are on. Yeah, it's not showing. We're not on main though. I think we should be good because it's on a separate branch, I believe. So let's go ahead and do it. Well, can you create some passing unit test / integration so I can set up my CI/CD pipeline in GitHub so we can have safe and secure deployments. All right, send that. If we lose other tokens, it is what it is, but we do have our testing framework in place. While that's happening, let me see if I can go log out and get that other error message. I think I'm gonna have to do something on Stripe side of the game to fix that. So I might have to do that on my own. If I go to manage subscription, go to the error. Customer portal. Let's do copy URL. So let's see if, so here's going to be an interesting thing, right? Is Lovable able to write unit tests that are going to pass for their own, code? That was pretty quick. I must say. I'll create a comprehensive test suite with unit and integration tests for your application. Sweet. That is pretty cool. Let me see if I can throw one more in there. I'm getting this error when trying to oh crap. Try to fix that. I'm getting this error when trying to manage my subscription and the profile page. Can you help me set it up? Maybe we'll go into Stripe and set it up. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to use that last. Trying to use one more credit before the re-up man came, but I don't think we're gonna make it. It's probably gonna burn into our next one. Oh yeah, so we're not gonna make it because I'm gonna have to fix all of these. I tried. You guys know the Bart Simpson gif where he has the cake. At least he tried, and he takes it and he throws it into the trash.
Bruh.
It's my fault for starting late today. But if we can get some comprehensive tests, that would be super awesome. Let's fix all of these. At least we got to 2. That's a 3 credits today. Let's see. A lot of stuff to fix with testing. I mean, I think, in all honesty, a well-tested app is going to have a lot more lines of code for testing than it is going to have for the actual application. And I never created one. Oh, Can't believe I never created that thing. All right, let's see what we got. I think we're good here, right? So I'll send this. It's gonna take up one of our new credits, but let's see. I can see the issue. The error is coming from a Stripe customer portal function. This happens when Stripe billing portal hasn't been configured yet. In your Stripe dashboard, the customer portal allows users to manage their subscription, update payment methods, download invoices, etc. Here's what you need to do to fix this. Go to your Stripe dashboard, billing portal settings, navigate here. So here's what we're gonna do, right? Because the re-up man has already came. Actually, it hasn't come yet, but it will, and it will. It should have took a token from me, actually. This should have took a token from me. Unless the re-up man already came, and I don't know, whatever. Anyways, let's refresh this page. I see. Now we're back to 4 or 5. All right, cool. It is all good in the hood. So let me take a look at here. I'm using the main. I'm using the main branch. It's all good. No biggie. Here is what we are going to do. We're gonna go to break. We're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna continue setting this up. We're going to pull in our unit test that we just had Lovable set up for us. We're gonna run them, see how they do, and go from there. Right. So let's go to break. All right, but I would like to know how many people have actually asked Lovable or Cursor or Devin or Make or Replit to find a way to test their subscriptions, to find a way to write unit tests for their CI/CD pipeline. I am pretty sure that most Vibe coders are be like, CI/CD, what? What you say about my mama? That's how I see it. All right. But being that I am a Q engineer, being that I've been in tech forever, these are the things that are always keeping me up at night. And when I say keeping me up at night, literally, because yesterday I was up to like 1 o'clock in the morning working on some unit tests for a different project, which I will take you guys through in the Patreon. All right. Let me check the chat, and then we will get to our first break time discussion for today. Let's see what we got going on here. Junior had said, that's a whole lot of testing. I like a lot of testing, and I cannot lie. Junior says, I'm with it. I'm learning to think proactively in detail from all of the commands you're prompting. And that is the goal. You especially, Junior, have seen in real time how I'm thinking about these prompts and how I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to apply my software development practices to my prompts and working back and forth instead of saying that these platforms just work for me. No, we are in it together. They work with me. All right. That's how I see it. That is how I see it. All right. But let's jump into our first break time topic for tonight. I want to talk to you about what about Vibe Analytics?
Hey.
Let's see what that's all about. I'm going to throw up 5 minutes on the clock before we get back to work. And we're going to zoom right over here. So, Vibe Analytics, what in the world? Let me zoom in a little bit on that, right? Boom, there we go. So, it says Vibe Analytics. Vibe Coding's new cousin unlocks insights. What? Vibe Coding has a cousin now, Vibe Analytics. I'm about to jump on this right away to see what in the world it's all about. So, the Excel spreadsheet error asked, what happened? The dashboard error asked, why did it happen?
I'm in a bind, Nate.
The Vibe error asked, what insights emerge if we explore together.
Let's go! Let's go!
Consider the gains that real-world companies are already making, and this was written July 24th, about a week ago. So let's see, 15 minutes. We're not gonna spend 15 minutes reading this. I'm just saying.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
So the TLDR says traditional data analysis looks like this: define questions, structure queries, execute models, and visualize results. Vibe Analytics collapses this chain into an improvisational dialogue with data using generative AI tools. Much like vibe coding transforms programming, instead of waiting for data scientists to produce insights, leaders can engage directly with the data sets through conversation and get insights quickly. Find out how many companies have already used this approach and learn what's required. So, since the author used generative AI tools as resources in the process of writing this article. Cool. All right. It says in February, former Tesla AI director and OpenAI co-founder Andre Karpathy posted a casual, humble brag on X about his clever weekend coding project. There's a new kind of coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give into the vibes, embrace exponentials, and let large language models write the code for you. Karpathy's hack literally and figuratively has prompted a profound and provocative disruption in software design and development. It's not really coding, he observed. I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and copy and paste stuff, and it mostly, the keyword is mostly, works. It now seems almost certain that Karpathy's AI-infused stuffification will have a significant impact on other forms of knowledge work, especially data-driven analysis. That's how all the data scientists are feeling right now. It says, what vibe coding does for and to programming, vibe analytics does for and with data. Vibing with structured or unstructured data, comma-separated values, CSVs, files, SQL databases, Excel spreadsheets, or even transcribed Zooms can generate empirical insights that neither legacy analytics nor data science are likely to produce. Much like vibe coding transforms programming from syntax to intention, vibe analytics transforms data queries to conversations. Let's just have the conversation. And dashboards to jam sessions. I will say this though, the thing that you got to be the most careful with using anything with AI, you got to be careful of the hallucinations that it gives you, right? Because it will make up. It will just make it up. So you gotta, and that's one of the things that I learned. Looking through the code, I had to filter out all of the fallback data, because if you leave the fallback data, you will be doomed and you will not even know it. It will be a slow burn. As Usher once said, let it burn. Let it burn.
How dare you?
All right. In these contexts, vibe describes an alignment between human intent and machine interpretation that emerges through improvisational interaction. The improvisation evokes and enables actionable insights from the data effectively and effectively arguing back. In the spirit of early statistics pioneers, notably John Tukey and Frederick Mosteller, whose exploratory data analysis approach encouraged data to speak before formal models imposed meaning, vibe analytics pursues value via dynamic interaction, where data engages or responds and sometimes resist. It's not just pattern recognition, it's pattern negotiation. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a debate. It's a debate.
Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to
Are you
work.
serious?
Back to work.
Well, that's why we're not gonna read the whole article, because time is up, and in order to read the whole thing, I got to create an account. I gotta create an account to read the full article, right? So maybe I will do a review. Maybe I'll go more in depth in this maybe I'll take this and connect it to a bug bite or software exploration, and we will go through the rest of this article. But so we'll stop as it gets fuzzy, right? It says, so where the Excel spreadsheet error asks what happened, the dashboard error, we read that part already. I'm not gonna read that whole part again. For executives, this means faster time to insight and the democratization of analytical powers. The need to wait days or weeks for data teams to translate business questions into technical queries vanishes when leaders engage directly with messy, structured, unstructured data through an improvised multimodal exploration to surface unexpected patterns and accelerate decision making. They are innovating out loud. I'm going to see if I can get access to the rest of this article because this is a really, really good article. And I'm really curious to see how they do it, what type of prompts they're using, all of that good stuff. So we shall see. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right. But that is Vibe Analytics in a nutshell. I really want to get more on that because data science is massive and it's major and it's messy. So, and because I've done a little bit of what do you call that thing? Extract, transform, load. I did a little bit of ETL, moving data from one spot to the other, and it is messy. All right, and it's a lot of work, a lot of database and stuff like that. So if there's a way to make it simple, because at the end of the day, all we want is the information. We want the right information. We want the right information. Right. So let me check the chat. And we will get back to working. Boom. All right. So we have Corey in the building. What's up, Corey? How is it going tonight? Hopefully everything is going phenomenal for you. Corey says, how would you advise someone interested in coding to get started with learning? There's a lot of information out there. Yes, there is a lot of information out there. I would say this, right? You got to start off knowing, okay, what type, because there's so many different types of coding, right? Are you interested in more in building front-end applications? Are you more interested on like building mobile apps? Are you more interested in scripts? So I think that's the first part, because you can go into Python, you can go into so if you're more interested in like scripts and data and things of that nature, I would say go to Python, right? 100 Days of Python on Udemy, really, really good. If you're more interested in like front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, I would probably say go with Angela Yu's The Complete Web Development Bootcamp, right? Also available on Udemy. I would say, all right, so I would say find out which route you want to go. Wait for Udemy to have a sale and buy a course, probably $15 to $25 at the most you should be paying for it. Wait for them to have a sale. Get that course, and then start going through it. Get in their Discord, ask questions. If you can find somebody who's interested in learning it with you, have them sign up to do it together, set a schedule. The biggest challenge you're going to have, though, and this is why most people, they can't, if we expand it outside of coding, they can't learn anything, they can't get anything done, is because they're not consistent. They'll start, and then it's like whatever the wind blows is when they'll like, it's how they feel. It's like I like vibe coding. I like vibe analytics. I hate vibe learning, because vibe learning, you come whenever you feel like it, you go whenever you feel like it, and you never get anything actually done. Get a calendar, schedule your learning time. Say, I'm gonna like in the morning, in the evening, you should be dedicating 10 at minimum hours. A good number is 15 to 20 hours, but 10 at minimum to learning whatever it is that you set your mind to learn, right? And then as you start to learn, you're going to have to explore. You're going to have to you're going to get stuck. You're going to have to like troubleshoot. That's a big part of it. Debugging, troubleshoot. And then at some point, you're going to want a mentor, because if you get somebody to do it with you, if they're learning too, you guys can help each other, but there might be points you get really, really stuck as it gets more complicated. You're going to want somebody who a mentor who can help you from time to time, and that will help you progress going forward. And but it's a long process. You have to be willing to put in the time. These courses, they'll market you, oh, in 6 months or 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever, the same way the boot camps do. It's gonna take a lot longer than that, especially with now that AI is around. It's a lot. It's the bar has been risen even higher, right? So very many different ways, right? And then as you start getting better, you need to start thinking right away, what can I build that is going to actually add value? Because they're going to give you a bunch of useless products to do in these courses. You're not going to remember anything about them. They're not going to mean anything to you. When you think of what can I build to put out there in the world, and the way I normally think about it is what is going to help me. I'm selfish in that because I have a lot of problems. Junior, do not comment on that. But I have a lot of problems, and I always think about how can I solve these problems through software, through code, and I build applications. So all the applications that I've been building, they're to help me first, and then I hope that I can monetize them because they should be able to help other people. But even if they don't, they are solving a big problem in my life. So think of an issue that you have. How can you, like, what kind of software would make it easier for you? And then you start building that to add value, and then it might help other people. You add Stripe to it like we're doing tonight, and you go from there. So it's a long process. It's worth it though, because I'll tell you this, by my knowledge of front-end development, Python code, I am able to do so much at work, but I'm able to also work with Lovable like a pro because I can understand what most of the code is doing, what they're telling me. I can go in there, like I've been fixing some unit tests that they have not been able to fix and all that good stuff. So we're like I said, we're working together. So the more you know in coding, the better you're going to be able to use these AI tools to have great, amazing products. All right. So that is my thought. Hopefully that helps you on your journey. Junior says a really good thing about all the information that's out there, right? He says, look at their fruits. Can they show you exactly how they implement what they're telling you to do? Are they showing their work? Over here, Techodraft shows the work. Shout out to you, Junior. And that's why I always recommend, like, I would say on YouTube, unless you're taking one of those very, very long courses where they have like a video that's like maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 hours long, following like I would say this, do not, like, using my channel is not a good channel to learn how to code or anything. Like, it'll give you insight, it'll push you in certain directions, it'll show you how I think, how I troubleshoot stuff, but my channel is not good to learn how to code, right? Because I'm very dynamic. But and that's why I'm like, I don't really recommend YouTube to learning a particular language. I would say invest the 15 to 20 bucks, 15 to 25 bucks into a structured course where you can follow along and you can actually have people you can ask questions to, whether it's in their Discord, whether it's on Udemy itself, all of that, right? So that'd be my recommendation. And because although they can show you some really cool stuff on YouTube, they also hide a lot of stuff. So that'll be my advice when knowing who to follow when learning stuff. I also another good resource is Free Code Camp. The thing about Free Code Camp is, from when I used it to learn more about JavaScript, is it was all text based. So there's like, I like to have videos to see what they're doing, stuff like that. So that's why I normally recommend Udemy. If you have a Coursera, that I never use Coursera, but that might work too. But because like some companies will pay for certain packages and plans for you, so you just gotta like keep your costs low when you're starting off, right? As you get deeper into it, you think, okay, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm getting better. Then you can start maybe spending a little bit more money. But I always say keep your costs low as you're exploring, because you can get a Python course for 10, 20 bucks. You can get a web development course for 10, 20 bucks. You can get a Java course for 10, 20 bucks, whatever. So compared to you're paying like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 for a boot camp for full stack, and you're like, oh, I really don't like it, but you already done paid for it, right? So that's why I say start with Udemy. Start with whatever you can do to keep your costs as low as possible to test the water to see if this is really for you, because tech is not for everybody. All right. So those are the things to think about when you're getting into this journey. Okay. Corey says, awesome. Thanks. My goal is for cybersecurity. I started reading the Coding All-in-One for Dummies book, and there's a lot of info. I'm excited to learn. Okay. If your goal is cybersecurity, I would definitely recommend a coding language. The coding language you would go with is Python, because with Python there are a lot of packages that you're going to use for scanning, for analysis, for reconnaissance, all that type of stuff. I would say go with Python. Start off with the 100 Days of Python, and learning cybersecurity. I'm not sure like what where your journey's at, but I would also say get a cybersecurity course, get an updated cybersecurity course on Udemy as well. Do those in parallel. So as you're learning the cybersecurity stuff, you're also learning Python, 100 Days of Python. There's some other ones out there that are really good, but I personally took the 100 Days of Python. Go with that. It's gonna take you more than 100 days. I'm just letting you know right now, but go with that and do them in tandem. So if let's say you decide to go to college for cybersecurity, don't do a boot camp for cybersecurity, right? Let's say you go to college, community college, Grand Western University, WGU, Western Governors University. Let's say you try that one. Then at least you'll have a foundation, and you already know the coding and stuff like that. All right. We got my guy Magnetar in the building. Says Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
And Magnetar says, at all costs, just stay away from boot camps. You know what those boot camps we were saying right now to you, Magnetar?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
But I agree 1000%. Stay away from those boot camps. All right, cool. So let's jump into. Let's check out our unit test. To see how they did. All right. So we are going to go over. Let me open up my WebStorm. And we are going to go over. Let me put up 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
We're going to go over here. And we're going to do a git pull. And what branch am I on? Git branch? I'm on main. All right, cool. I'm on main. Okay, so now I remember. I created this branch where we were testing out, I think Kilo code. But in my mind, if Lovable can help me out with these unit tests, right? Created a bunch of tests. So, did you see that? It even created my GitHub action for me. That I was not expecting it to do that. That I was not expecting. Look at that. Boom, look at that. GitHub action. GitHub. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I'll see on Reddit people will be bashing Lovable left and right. Look, it's not perfect because there's nothing, nobody or no software, no large language model is perfect. But it does a pretty damn good job. I must say. So, let's go ahead and set up our let's do our npm install. And so we have that, and we are going to open up when you're using WebStorm, at least or not WebStorm, but when you're using Node and you go and you check your I don't see. Is that the one too? Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. Let's try running this to see what happens. No, this is actually starting the application. So what would be the command to do the unit tests? I think it's going to be, hold on, let me stop that. I don't want this running. I think we're going to put another script, and we're going to say test, and we're going to say test. Let's go do a quick search real quick. How to kick off Vite unit tests. Oh, Claude has a unit test generator? That's pretty cool. Vite itself is a build tool. Oh, it's Vitest. Vitest. I mean with Vitest. Let's see. Vitest run. Cool. All right, so we are going to do Vitest run. So if we go to here and we do npm run test, Vitest config not found. Let me see what it actually used to create these tests. No, so there goes Vitest right here. So maybe we need to do, hold on, npm install Vitest. Should have did a dev though. So, I am going to let me go back over here. Something's weird. Let's go and take a look at over here. npm run test. npm run tests. I don't see that though. Let me undo some stuff. So if this was accurate, it would say npm run test, right? And it's missing this. All right, so I am going to say that. All right, so I'm going to say, probably needs to add it to the package.json. Oh, remember when it said it couldn't edit the package.json? That's probably why. When I try to run my tests using npm run test, I am not seeing, or on my local machine, I am getting the error of missing script test. And when I look in the package.json file, it does not have test under scripts. Can you update the package.json file to include what's necessary to run the tests? Let's see what that comes up with. Let's see what it says. I can see the issue is missing test scripts. Looking at your test, I'll add the necessary test. I've added necessary tests to your package. I couldn't apply or change because I tried to edit the file. I don't have permissions. Please rephrase your request. All right, let's see. Maybe I can do it myself. All right, so I'll just do it myself. We should add this stuff to it. I'll just take this whole, just copy the whole thing maybe. Let's copy the whole thing. Copy that. Let's take that. And let's do run the install. Oh, there's some upgrades to be done too. All right, we'll do the upgrades as well. It's the upgrade. Let's do this upgrade. Update to unaffected version. Let's do that. Hopefully that works. Hopefully I didn't break something by doing that. But that's why I like using WebStorm. It makes my life easier. All right, so now if we're to do npm run test, would you look at them apples? We got some tests running. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right, I'm going to do one more thing, right? I am going to say edit configuration. I'm going to get rid of this one. Or I'll leave that. I'm going to add another one. I'm going to say npm, and it's going to be run, and the script is going to run is going to be test UI. Okay, and if we go over and we run that, you're not going to believe what just happened. You are not going to believe what just happened. Let's go over here. We got test, babe. We got test, baby. And we have 15 passing tests, 11 failing tests, 26 tests in total. Let's get it. So let's take a look at the tests that are failing. Render the copyright notice. Unable to find an element with homeschool hive. This could be because the text is broken up in multiple elements for your text matcher. So we have tests. Look at that. Look at that. So actually, what did it find? So it's looking for this text right here, but it actually found this text right here. So let's see if we can update that. And this is in the footer render copyright notice. So let's go over here And we are going to go to footer, test, and it would be looking for, oops, well, let's do that like that. And that, so if we go back over here, how you like them apples, that's passing. Render the footer links, unable to find text about. This could, all right, about. So let's check the site. Do we even have an about on that on the site? Let's see. Let me close this out for now. Let's go to the home page. We don't have an about. We have a privacy policy, terms of use, and data deletion. So if you're looking at the tests, and this is so important to do. This is really, really important to do to get unit tests passing. Because when you push up, I haven't been as strict on this project because this has been kind of like a side project for me. But in another application that we are very, very strict on, as you go to make iterations, like I'm even gonna ask it like, shout out to Ish Legend 91 for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. Truly, truly appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, so like I was saying, right? Let's get these links in here. So it's thinking that there's an about page. I don't know where it's getting that concept from, but we can get that. I'll tell you, these unit tests are a lot easier than the other ones. I'll tell you that. So we don't have an about, but we have a privacy policy, terms of use, and a data deletion. I think data deletion we had to add data deletion because of either Facebook or Apple. So let's do that. And now our count should change from 1 pass to 2 passed. What? Look at that. We got unit tests in the building.
They ain't believing us.
So now if we go back over here, all of our footer tests are passing. Let's go. Let's get it. This is a software engineer and QA engineer's dream come true. All right, render the logo. Window match media is not a function. What else we have over here? Navigation. All right, so we have some serious issues here. Here's what I did, right? This is what I've been doing for part of, like, last night. This is what it kept me up till 1 in the morning, maybe a little bit later, right? And what I was thinking about today. So, and I'll tell you this, you guys have seen the meme where the guy is walking with his girlfriend, his wife, whatever she is, and he looks back at the other young lady who's walking by. That's how I felt today, right? Because I'm doing some amazing work, writing some amazing automation code, leading some amazing meetings, but my heart were with my unit tests. If you guys remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode, right? That heart-wrenching moment when Will was like about his dad, I don't need him in my life. I don't need this. When his dad had left him, they were supposed to go on a trip together, on maybe trucking together, and the dad left them high and dry. And they're talking to Uncle Phil. He's like, I don't need him this. I don't need him that. And he was like, why don't he want me, Uncle Phil? Why don't he want me, Uncle Phil? And Uncle Phil gave him that big old hug. That's how I felt today. I'm like, why don't my unit tests want to pass? Why don't my unit tests want to pass? I was heartbroken. I was like,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It is what it is. It is what it. Look, I tell y'all the truth, all right? So, anyways, enough about that. So, here's how I was troubleshooting to get this to work. Let me move this right next to here, right? So I would say, so here's what I was learning, right? I would go to the code view, and I would say I have this test, or this is short enough. I can say, I'm going to Gemini because I pay for Gemini, but I'll say when I have these unit tests. I'm just going to paste the code. They all are failing because of, and I came up with this last night, right? As I'm trying, because the thing is, Lovable is not going to be good at minor details, right? Especially when trying to fix unit tests. So I use a few credits, trying to see if it can just get it to work. I remember on Devin, it said, if you want me to get all of your unit tests to work, it's going to take hours upon hours. I was like, all right. Now we're exaggerating just a little bit. So what I said, you know what? I pay for Gemini monthly. Let me see if Gemini can help me with my problems, right? I know Rod Brown and Junior felt some type of way about AI last night, but I was like, I'm gonna go to who has helped me the most in the past year, right? So, and I'm gonna say I keep getting. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say they're all failing because of this error. They're all failing because of this. Can you help me fix this? And we wait for, and look, it takes some back and forth, right? It takes some back and forth. I am familiar with testing, with unit testing, so I have the patience for it. I am familiar with working with developers where you say, this isn't working. They say, oh, it's fixed. So honestly, these vibe coding platforms, they just mimic developers, right? Sorry, I'm sorry to say.
I'm just being honest.
All right, so of course, this is a common issue when testing components that use browser-specific APIs. Is not a function because your use mobile hook relies on Windows match data, which doesn't exist in Node.js based in test environment that uses Vitess, uses by default. To fix this, you need to mock this function in. That's what I meant to ask it. I meant to tell it to do the test with mocks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to go over to the code because I don't know if it actually did mocking when it set this up, but I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say get status, get
Lunch break.
commit.
Lunch break.
All right, let me finish. Let me finish real quick. Let me do it. Let me finish this real quick. All right, so git commit package dash lock package dot json src m updated package dot json and fixed footer dot test dot footer unit tests. Push that up. And that is up there now. And if I go over to here, we should see that there. And I say, can we add mocking to the test so we can prevent making API calls? Can we add mocking to all? Can we add mocking to all the unit and integration tests so that we can prevent making real API calls that will cause the test to be flaky and prevent from testing certain features? Let's go and let's do that. Let's do that. All right, let's go to break. I'll let it do its thing. I will pull it back into my IDE later and we will go from there. All right, so it is break time. Let me check the chat and see what we got going on in here. Let's see. We have Maye Media UK in the building says hi. Well, hello to you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Especially if you're in the UK, because it's like midnight to one. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning for you. What? So thank you. Mad Media UK says, I just started vibe coding not long ago, and I have created a community in Discord, and I am looking to bring together educators like yourself. If you would be interested, I would like to invest in. You'd like to invest in me? What? Why? Thank you. Thank you. If you have X or Instagram or Discord, you can send me a message or a friend connection. Everywhere you go, it's Tech Coach Ralph. Just all one word, Tech Coach Ralph. The same way you see on YouTube. That's where you can find me. Reddit, X, Instagram, Discord, Facebook, wherever I am, wherever I'm alive. It is Tech Coach Ralph. Send me some information. We can have a conversation. Let me know what you're looking for, and we can go from there. All right? But thank you so much for tuning in as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see. May Media says, I have never made an application in my life, but I recently created a trading view indicator, and I have created a web app. What? That is awesome. I'll tell you this, right? I have created apps and websites and stuff like that. I created an app last year. I'll tell you this. What I've been able to do in 2 months surpasses what I've been able to create in a whole entire year. And I would create like 1 in a year. I've done like 5 in a short amount of time, and they are all just about production ready. So I agree with you 1000%. And hit me up. I would love to see your trading view indicator, and I can even show it on this stream after I take a look at it next episode. If you send it to me, I can pull it up, see what you built, all that good stuff, right? Maya Media says AI is super powered. That's a fact. Can I send you an invite? Yes, you can. Send me an invite. Send me an invite. Tech Coach Ralph, Discord, everywhere. Tech Coach Ralph, send me an invite. I will take a look at it. All right. Maya Media says Web3 and builders need more knowledge, and I think this channel is like this, and this channel is like this that can really grow that. I am just doing the work of the good, and I'm gonna say it's just for Junior. Junior, this is specifically just for you and Rod Brown, wherever he's at. I am doing the work of the good AI lords. I'm such a nerd.
You're such a nerd.
All right. Let's get to our. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get to our second break time conversation for tonight. And this is about Cursor. I have personally never used Cursor, but I hear some great things about Cursor. But is Cursor powerful enough to save the soul of vibe coders? Definitely not powerful enough to save the souls, but it can save the vibe. But it says that they can save the vibe coders from disaster, not hellfire and brimstone, but from coding disaster. Let's take a look at it together. Let's see what they have to say. All right, so let's go over to here. And this is written by Wired.com. I'm going to put up a 5 minutes clock. And it says, so this says, let me start from the top. If there is a top. All right, Cursor's new bug bot is designed to save vibe coders from themselves. We need to be saved from ourselves always. One of the most popular programming platforms for AI-assisted programming says the next era of vibe coding is all about supercharging error detection. And that's what I'm trying to get a head start on, all right? Says, all right, so AnySphere, the company behind the widely popular vibe coding platform Cursor, is officially launching a new tool that's designed to spot errors in code. The release comes after software developers are expected to code at a higher velocity than ever before due to the rise of AI-assisted coding. The new tool, BugBot, integrates with GitHub, a platform where engineers keep their code. when a human or agent introduces changes, BugBot automatically flags any errors. While that's crucial for human coders, it's particularly useful when using AI coding agents, which work incredibly fast and can introduce errors that are difficult for humans to spot and untangle. That is a fact. That's a fact. AnySphere sees the tools release as an opportunity to lure more potential vibe coders onto the Cursor platform. Our core product is giving you software engineering superpowers, but software engineering goes beyond just writing code in your editor. I have been saying this since the beginning of time. Software engineering goes way, way far beyond just writing code in your editor. Code quality is important. Functionality, resolving defects, debugging, CI/CD, DevOps, all of that is part of software engineering. Where do you think DevOps got its name from? Right? Development, operations. Development is software engineering, right? John Kaplan, an engineer at AnySphere, tells Wired, BugBot is one of the ways we're now stepping out of the editor. Last month, AnySphere invited a few thousand engineering teams to beta test the new tool. Now the company is making it publicly available for $40 per month per person. It's actually a good deal. Annual customers will get a discount. That means the existing Cursor customer who pays between $20 and $200, depending on the level of premium features, will now pay an additional $40 for access to BugBot. Personally, I don't think I need it because I am very, very meticulous with developing, testing, and now we're adding our unit tests and we're going to be adding playwright tests as well to our application so that we can be fully covered, right? Because we cannot fumble the bag.
Money. Hey.
All right, so let's see what this is. This is Cursor bug PR comments. Fetching misses new inline comments, potential edge case. So on line 28, await Okta since, okay. Fixing Cursor, fixing web. A screenshot of how Cursor displays BugBot to users. BugBot can miss new inline comments either due to timing delays or because they are included in the first batch of results. I don't understand what this is telling me, but okay. AnySphere, which was co-founded in 2022 and has around 140 employees, has raised $900 million from marquee firms like Anderson Horowitz and Thrive Capital, alongside angel investors like Google chief scientist Jeff Dean, Stripe CEO Patrick Collison, and former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, who now works at Meta Superintelligence Labs. Those are some big names, and good Lord, that is a lot of money. The startup counts OpenAI, Shopify, Instacart, Midjourney, Discord, and Rippling among its thousands of customers. Even Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai has copped to vibe coding with Cursor. Ooh, Google, I know you didn't. Google, I know you
Get a move
didn't.
on. Back to work. Chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work.
But the competitive landscape for AI-assisted coding platforms is crowded. Startups Windsurf, which was acquired by Cognition Labs, who owns Devon AI. Startups Windsurf, Replit, and Poolside also sell AI code generation tools to developers. Klein, a popular open source alternative, GitHub's Copilot, which was developed in collaboration with OpenAI, is described as a pair programmer that auto-completes code and offers debugging assistance. I personally don't like autocomplete code because it drives me crazy. Most of these code editors are relying on a combination of AI models built by major tech companies, including OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. For example, Cursor is built on top of Visual Studio Code and an open source editor from Microsoft, and Cursor users are generating code by tapping into AI models like Google Gemini, DeepSeek, and Anthropic's Claude Sonnet. Several developers tell Wired that they now run Anthropic's coding assistant Claude Code alongside Cursor or instead of it. Ooh, that's a little jab right there.
Bruh.
Since May, Claude Code has offered various debugging options. It can analyze error messages, do step-by-step problem solving, suggest specific changes, and run unit tests in code. All of which might beg the question, how buggy is AI-written code compared to code written by fallible humans? I would say that AI code, maybe ratio to ratio, maybe they're on par, but it writes a lot more buggy code because it writes a lot more code, right? Not the cleanest thing. It's not the cleanest, right? Earlier this week, the AI code generation tool Replit reportedly went rogue. It went rogue and made changes to a user's code despite the project being in a code freeze or pause. It ended up deleting the user's entire database. Replit's co-founder and CEO said on X that the incident was unacceptable and should never be possible. How the hell did that happen? And yet it was. That's an extreme case, but even small bugs can wreak havoc for coders. So I would say this, right? Disconnect your, like, if you're not using it, if there's a code free, disconnect it from AI altogether. All right. And I'll say this as well, even during a code, like, and that's why I'm eager to set up my CI/CD pipeline. It has to be merged into the main branch, and the CI/CD tests have to pass. The automation tests have to pass. It needs to be approved by a user before it can get merged. All the code, the source. Like, right now I'm using main. I know, not a good practice, right? But that's how you need to prevent these issues. You need to have in place these CI/CD principles, these software development principles. AnySphere didn't have a clear answer to the question of whether AI code demands more AI code debugging. Kaplan argues it is orthogonal to the fact that people are vibe coding a lot. Even if all the code is written by a human, it's still very likely that there will be bugs. That is true. There will always be bugs, right? AnySphere product engineer Rohan Varma estimates that on professional software teams, as much as 30 to 40% of code is being generated by AI. This is in line with estimates shared by other companies. Google, for example, said that around 30% of the company's code is now suggested by AI and reviewed by human developers. Most organizations are still making human engineers responsible for checking code before it's deployed. Look, every single deployment you do is associated with a human name, and if you don't check it and test it, then that is on you. And I wholly, because even when using Lovable and it has to make database changes, do you approve these changes? Yes. And it even has ways to roll back, right? Most organizations are still making human engineers responsible. I read that. Notably, one recent randomized control trial with 16 experienced coders suggested that it took them 19% longer to complete tasks than when they were not allowed to use AI. BugBot is meant to supercharge that. The heads of AI at our larger customers are looking for the next step with Cursor, Varma says. The first step was, let's increase the velocity of our teams, get everyone moving quicker. Now that they're moving quicker, it's how do we make sure we're not introducing new problems, we're not breaking things. That honestly, I believe that should have probably been the first goal. I'm just saying.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
He also emphasized that BugBot is designed to spot specific kind of bugs, hard to catch logic bugs, security issues, and other edge cases. One incident that validated BugBot for the AnySphere team, a couple of months ago, the human coders at AnySphere realized that they hadn't gotten any comments from BugBot on their code for a few hours. BugBot had gone down. AnySphere engineers began investigating the issue and found the pull request that was responsible for the outage. There in the logs, they saw that BugBot had commented on the pull request, warning a human engineer that if they made this change, it would break the BugBot service. The tool had correctly predicted its own demise. ultimately, though, it was a human that unalived Bugbot.
Bruh.
And that, my friends, is the story of Bugbot, its inception to its final own prediction of its demise that a human actually carried out. What a very, very sad way to end the story. But that is in a break time. That is shout out to Cursor. I haven't used Cursor. I just don't have a need to it. And if it's built on top of VS Code, you guys know how much I love VS Code. So it probably won't be happening right now for me. All right. Anyhow, let me just chat one more time, and then we're gonna get back to our very, very last segment of work for tonight. Let's see. Junior finds my examples hilarious. I try, Junior. I try. Mayamita says, I have just tagged you on X. Can you please also invite any projects you think that have potential and any builders and developers and also teachers? I want to create a network that is supportive. I will do the best that I can. So I know people who want to get into coding. I know some vibe coders. I will do the best that I can to share about it. I'm gonna go check it out and we'll chat. We will chat. All right. And Mayamita says, I like Bolt. I've heard of Bolt. I haven't looked into it yet. I gotta look into it. It's combined with DeepSeek. What? I'm gonna tell you this, right? I tried to sample out DeepSeek over here, and I almost got ran out of YouTube because Americans are terrified of DeepSeek. They are. They say, oh, DeepSeek is gonna help our dad. I don't trust it. They're terrified. They're terrified of DeepSeek. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna back off of DeepSeek. I'm gonna back off of DeepSeek. All right, but I'm gonna try it out. Just don't tell my American friends that I'm gonna try out DeepSeek. All right. So, and we have the one, the only Mr. Go Live in the building. My guy, Rod Brown, says, shout out to Tech Coach. Shout out to you as well, Mr. Rod Brown. Great show last night. Great stream. Shout out to you. Even when the AI Bible tried to hold you down, the AI devil tried to hold you down last night, right? You came back stronger than ever. Let's go. Let's get it, Rod Brown. What's good? What's happening? All right, let's get into this last working segment before we wrap it up for the night. I am gonna go to, what were we doing? We had prompted. Let's go to one last segment.
Let's go!
We had prompted. We did the unthinkable. I asked Lovable to help me test my application in two ways. Our subscription management and to write unit tests for our CI/CD pipeline. That's what I asked. That is what I asked it to do. I sure did. All right, so we are going to see what it came up with. It says, you're absolutely right. Adding proper mocking to all tests is essential to prevent flaky tests and avoid real API calls. I can see that there's some basic mocking in the setup.ts file, but we need to expand it more, comprehensive and reliable. Important note, before we proceed with the test improvements, I noticed that your package.json is missing a build dev script that is required for Lovable to build the project. You'll need to add the script manually. Okay, I'll go back and add that. Please add this to your script in the package.json. I just copied yours, to be honest with you. Now let me enhance the mocking setup to make your tests more reliable. I've created a comprehensive mocking setup that will prevent flaky tests and avoid real API calls. Key improvements: enhanced setup, comprehensive mocking of all browser APIs, Supabase client, React query, and external. This is probably making Rod Brown's blood boil. Like, how dare you add unit test? Rod Brown, all right. Moment of truth, Rod Brown. Do you write unit tests? I have a straight face on right now. I'm gonna go to full screen for this. Rod Brown. Content creator to content creator, techie to techie. Do you write unit tests? We want to know. We want to know. On the spot. Time is ticking. On the spot. Junior wants to know too. Junior wants to know too. I don't know. Anyways, as we wait for Rod Brown's answer, right? Let's go ahead and pull in our test and add in our build thingy. It says a cat. Let me try to fix that. Rod Brown says he pleads the fifth. Rod Brown, you have been granted immunity. You have been granted immunity, so you have to answer the question now. With all due respect, right? You have to answer the question because you have been granted immunity. Once you're granted immunity, then you have to testify, right? I'm just saying. Let's see. All right, let me go pull this in, add it, and let's go to, because it needs that get pull. It needs that one line in there, right? So that it can actually, how did that get deleted? So let's go to this package.json. Oh, all right, I got you. So let's go to that. Yeah, let's do that. And we are going to do get status, get commit, package.json, m, added the build dev back to the script. All right, we push that up. And let's go back over here. See what happened. Did it build? Okay, so yeah, so we got that. Now, so that's good. So our build is good. Let's go over here. And we're going to let's run our test again, right? Ooh, what happened here? Oh, that's not good. Let me fix that. All right, so I probably broke something else then. All right, so that should fix our build. That was bad. All right, now let's go and run again. And we are getting different errors. Why is our footer failing again? If we go back to our footer, why is our footer failing again? Oh, okay. Okay. So I guess we'll fix the footer again. Let's copy this. I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm going to copy this. When running this test now, I'm getting this error. So now that we have our mocking in place, that should be a lot better to fix our issues. I'm getting this error. Copy that, paste it in here. Let's see. This error occurs because your component in the render tree toaster is trying to read a list of toaster display, but the context that provides those toasters is missing from your test environment. Even though your footer is you're only testing a footer, something in your app structure likely renders toaster at the root level. When you render footer in isolation, the toast provider isn't available, causing use toast hook. So, and here's what I like about this, right? It is, even if it can't fix the issue right away, it's giving me so much context onto why I'm having these issues, right? The solution, update your test utilities. The best way to fix this is to add the toaster component to the wrapper in your custom test utils function. This ensures it's available for every test run. So we're going to go into our test utils and try to add this line right here. And then add that, right? So we're going to go and we're going to take that line. Actually, probably just... Let's go and try this. Let's go over here. And we're going to be looking for test utils. There we go. And we're going to go to our imports and we're going to add. I see toaster right there. So it's there. So that's there. Okay. And if we look at all the providers, this is the prop for it. Okay, all the providers, you saw that. Children, is there children? Are there any children in here? Are there any children in here? There goes children. Is there a return? Okay, return. There's toaster right there. All right, so we're going to copy this file now. And I'm going to say, here is the content of the test utils.tsx file. And this is why it's actually tough to use these, like when we're trying to use Kilo to write these tests. This is why it's so tough, because it can be so many different things. It can be so many different things that is causing the there can be so many different things that is causing the test not to work. So we have to investigate, right? But it is critical to have working tests as part of your application. Let's see. There are no changes needed here. This is the setup is ready to go. So what about my issue though? All right. So So if that file is good, how can I get my footer? What else can be causing the footer tests to fail? The most likely reason your footer test is because incorrect hard-coded year in your... Really? Okay, I guess you forgot. You lost context, but I will give it to you again. Both tests are failing because of this error. The test utils.tsx is exactly as you described it to be. Described it should be. You even said that it was perfect. You said it was perfect. All right. You said that it was perfect. Aww. Let's see what it says. You're actually right to be confused about your well-structured, but the error points to a subtle tricky issue with how mocks are sometimes handled by test runners. The problem is the mock inside your render with auth function isn't being applied correctly before the component tree renders, causing the auth provider to provide an undefined value, which breaks the toaster. The problem, mock execution order, this line inside your render with auth helper is the source of the issue. This mock is called too late. All right. Even though it looks like it runs before custom render, Vitess and JSDOM can sometimes render parts of the component tree before the dynamic require, and the mock can be fully applied. When this happens, a component, Corey, if you're still watching, using AI to get explanations of whatever it is you're working on is golden. And I would say this: learning how to code. I would ask AI, like, if there's something you don't understand, because they might explain it in a way that's too technical. I would say, can you explain this to me like a 8th grader and have it break it down to me that way? Because I'll be able to understand that a lot better, right? So if you're still watching, hopefully that gives you some additional insight. All right. So even though it looks like okay, we got that. So the solution: a more robust mocking strategy. The fix is to separate mocking from the rendering. Instead of mocking inside the helper, we'll use ViMock at the top of the test file itself. This guarantees the mock is in place before any render begins. Update your test utils. So update it to import real provider. So if we go to test utils, I'm not even sharing that screen, am I? All right. Anyways, I was reading from Google. If I go to the top of this and I say, here's the updated test utils, import auth. So you need this code over here. And so let me copy this, and I'm going to put this in here. When I try to do the real provider import, my IDE is giving me this error. What should I do? Let's see what it says first. The error means is defined inside your auth context, but isn't available to other files. You need to add the export keyword. Fine. All right, so it's correct. So we're gonna go and we're gonna do the export. Just making sure. Like, if you don't know, then you want to find out. All right. So now after we did that, update. So now we're looking at update the custom render to pass the auth value. So we have all providers now accept a value. So if we go to this line is good. We need to update this interface right here. And I'll just leave it on this screen as I do that. We need to update this interface to do that. And we need to update the all providers now accept with the return. So we need to update this right here all the way down to here. Why is that? Wait a second. Did I copy the wrong thing? No, we got the interface. We got the interface. Is there something missing up here? Auth value, okay. Sign in. Literals may only specify known properties. Sign in does not exist in auth type context. Maybe it's login. Nope. All right, well, we'll ask about that. Or if I go into sign up and I go to auth context type and I search for sign up, where's that coming from? Auth provider? I don't know. All right, we'll ask about that then. All right, so we got all this in there. And then if we keep going, update custom renderer to pass auth value. Update the custom renderer. Something's not right. Where do the exports start? Export const. Export custom renderer. What is all this? So you're saying we don't need all of that? Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. So if we were to take this right here. Oh, copying the wrong thing. That's why. All right, copy this. If we go to wait, start here. Nope, here. Got that. So that's still good. All right, cool. So now the only thing we need to worry about is so I'm going to copy this line right here. Let's go over here. So I'm going to copy the errors. The IDE is giving me errors for these two. And I will say
Lunch break, lunch break.
And let's finish this up with these errors. Because before we added the mocking, those two tests were working. And then after we added the mocking, the footer tests were not working. So I just want to know what's up with that. And that's the error. How can I resolve these issues? Here's the fix, the problem, and solution. First, error sign-in does not exist. This error tells you that your auth context interface does not include properties like sign in, sign up, or sign out. You need to add them to the type definition. Second error, property value does not exist. This error means your auth provider component doesn't accept a value prop. It's currently only designed to accept children. To make your context testable, you need to modify and accept the option value prop to inject mock data. How to update your auth provider file to accept the value prop. Ensure all methods are defined in your exported interface. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say this is the content of the auth context.tsx file. Can you tell me what changes need to be made to accept the value prop and what should the sign in be changed to get so the tests can pass? Let's do that. To fix error, you need to modify the auth provider to accept value and prop. Right, updated. Make sure sign and other methods match the test utility mock. And we want, all right, so let's do this one. Interface auth prop. So just do that, and then we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. This is gonna be auth prop auth provider. Does that exist? Does that exist? Auth context. Auth context type. So export. All right. So all right. What's going on here? So let's do under the loading. We're gonna do this right here, and then for the auth context, we're gonna do that. That allegedly. Guess we can call this vibe testing. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see, and then the rest are good to go. It looks like. If a value prop is provided in a test, use it. So that would be, if I can find this part of the code. Auth. Oh wait, I don't have that yet. Wait, I just did that, didn't I? Auth provider props. Okay, so now we do the export. Do that export. Okay. So who previously exported that? Oh. Anyways, it's going to take some time to get these tests working. It's a learning experience, but it's important. It is important. And I think figuring out how to get these tests to work using whatever tools are available, I think Lovable got us a good part of the way. And now we need to slowly and methodically get the rest of these tests to pass, because we need to have them in our CI/CD pipeline in order to prevent catastrophes. All right. But we are going to be wrapping it up for tonight. We had a great 2 hours of work. Let me check the chat before we get out of here. We have my mouse. Where's my mouse? So I asked Rod Brown the question, does he write unit tests? And he pled the fifth. Can you believe that? And Junior says, no self-incrimination. If you confess your, I forgot how the verse went in the AI coding Bible, but it's like, if you confess your coding sins before man, then I forgot how it goes. I haven't checked my AI Bible lately, right? And Rod Brown says, I don't trust this immunity. What? You know what, Rod Brown? I've had enough, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
How dare you say such a thing? Magnetar says, me. Just kidding. Magnetar is the king snitcher, so he would. If you see him gone for like 10 minutes like he was, right? See, I stepped away. Did anybody say government at all? What? I think I just said it now. And Maggie says, read it again. I don't even know what I was reading at the time. Oh my, stop the show. We have someone I haven't seen in a long time. We got my guy Andrew Allen in the building. Nice vibe coding. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to see you. Hopefully everything's going well with you. Junior says, confess your sins one to another. Say it. There you go. Confess your lack of writing unit test and integration test one to another. There you go. you like how I do that, Rod Brown? You know, and Andy says, it's been a long time. It sure has, but we are still here. We are still winning. We do not miss, Andy, because you know that we are the best.
We the best.
And how's the kid? How's your kid going? It's been how old is your kid now? It's been a few years. I've known Andrew for that long. And Magnetar says, the part where you said, did anybody get that? Just watch it back, Magnetar, because I have no idea what I don't remember what I said like 2 seconds ago. You expect me to go back and read something that I don't even know what I read. And Andrew says, things are great. That is awesome to hear. 19 months. Let's go. Let's get it. That's awesome. I'm going to hit you up. But that's all I got for tonight. That is all that I got for tonight. That's it. Magnetar, I need to rewind myself. Because I just be saying, you know me, Magnetar. You know me. I just be saying stuff. Whatever comes to mind, boom. And then I'm like, did I say that? You're like, yes, you did. Here's a timestamp. I'm like, I'm not checking that. I don't go back. I'm not. Why you gotta bring up the past? Why do you gotta bring up the past? Says his son is into karate and elephants. I had some free time, so I wanted to come live. I appreciate you. My son is all into dinosaurs and cars, Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, racetracks, and he always wants to fight. Yep, there you go. That's how it goes. With that being said, he's probably waiting for me to fight right now, so we'll see how that goes. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, after these amazing 2 hours of vibe coding and vibe testing. Yep, I said it, vibe testing. I said it. It's a thing now. It's a thing. I made it a thing. After 2 hours, yeah, I know you guys had fun. Do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content as well. TechCoachUp.dev. This weekend, we got a sprint review coming up. I posted last weekend's, this past Saturday's vibe coding chill session. We got another one coming up next week, Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the week after. I'm going to go deep into the testing stuff, answer your questions, whatever the case may be. That's where I'll be. One-on-one time with you guys. Come up on the Google Meet. Let's talk. Let's have fun. All of that good stuff, right? But with that being said, we're done. We are done for tonight. I had an amazing time. Hopefully you did as well. Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Spartans! What is your profession?
I'm not that far removed from the storm. The heat still lingers, my heart still warm. I try to change, but the core remains. I'm not that far removed from the flame.
I'm not that far removed from the storm. The heat still lingers, my heart still warm. I try to change, but the core remains. I'm not that far removed from the flame.
They pushed and pulled like I'm a game to play. Thought I'd crumble, thought I'd stray. I walked away from shadows I knew, but I'm not that far removed from the view.
They threw their stones, I caught them all. Built a wall so I wouldn't fall. Changed my name, changed my tune, but I'm not that far removed from the moon.
I'm not that far removed from the fire that burns, the soul I prove. You can test me, you can try, but I'm still the storm, the unbroken sky. I bury my past, but it won't stay gone. A ghost in the mirror, it lingers on. Try to rewrite, try to improve, but I'm not that far removed from the groove.
I buried the fire, but it still flickers low. They thought I'd crumble, but they don't even know. The echoes of me that I left in the past still rise like a shadow I can't outlast.
They see my face, but they don't see the scars. Every line's a map, a story that's ours. I wear my armor, my heart's subdued, but I'm not that far removed from the crude.
They built their walls, but I've got my tools. Try to make me dance to their shallow rules. I walked away, but the fight's in my veins. Not that far gone from my old hurricane.
They wanted a puppet, but I cut the strings. Tried to clip my wings, but I still sing. I shed my skin, but the scars still show. Not that far gone from the me they used to know. I'm not that far removed from the fire that burns, the soul I prove. You can test me, you can try, but I'm still the storm, the unbroken sky.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.